So here is again the materials we need, both the book and the access card. I've had one student who was having trouble signing on, but looks like at least the last time I checked, which was about midday today, 7 students had already signed on to MindTap. So you need both the book and the access. You can get that through the COS bookstore. You can also, and then if you can also just purchase directly online. So this is what you need for the book and the access. Getting a hold of me through the best ways through the COS email, andyh@cos.edu. I also have a discussions thread that's posted in Canvas that allows you to post there, and I get an email that says somebody's posted there, so I can get to it pretty fast. Prerequisites listed there, you can read through that. Course objectives, you can read through that. Student learning objectives, you can read through that. Assignments, the most important element of assignments is that there are no late assignments, or late assignments will not be accepted during the semester. There is no extra credit offered in this course. You can expect that there's going to be some weeks where it's this, there'll be a little bit less, maybe a little bit more in certain times, but this is about what you can plan for the amount of time it's going to take, including reading the chapter and working through the homework, okay? The next section here is participation discussions online. I'm going to read through this verbatim. And so students will be required to participate in weekly online discussions. The online week begins on Monday, which this is the first week, and the first week we don't really have any graded discussions, but technically if this was a full week, we would have started this week on Monday at 12 a.m. and it ends on Sunday at 11:59. So this first week will end on Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Each week, the instructor will post discussion questions in the discussions forum located in Canvas. During the online week, students will be required to post one reply message that contains 2 well-developed paragraphs and clearly addresses the discussion question. And then the instructor will not consider a single sentence paragraph as well-developed. And then post 2 replies to 2 different student posts. Your reply must be substantive. So specifically, what do I mean by that? You must show that you have evidence of critical thinking and meaningful interaction with the posting, as well as course resources. And you can also show that it's engaging or substantive by asking engaging questions or providing insight into the discussion. Both quantity and quality are important considerations when posting substantive messages. For example, I agree is not considered substantive because it does not add to anything of substance to the discussion. A single sentence post will not be considered substantive. Students will earn 50% of the weekly discussion points by responding to the initial discussion questions. Students will then earn 25% of the weekly discussion points for substantive replies to other students. So just so that we're clear, it's one post to reply to the initial DQ or discussion question. And then you must post 2 replies to 2 different students after that. So you're going to have a total of 1 + 2 is 3 posts per week. 1 that replies to the DQ and 2 that replies to 2 other students. And then again, just the reply of saying something like, I agree will not be acceptable. And a single sentence post will not be considered substantive. Your first reply will be 50%. And then the 2 replies after would be 25% each. That'll give you the 100% of the points for that particular week. So at this point in time, you probably just see these 2, the questions thread, which nobody's posted to, and then the initial week 1 discussions, which is not graded, but we'll take a look and see what's already been posted. Essentially, you were just going to help, bring yourself and talk about yourself and maybe get to meet some of the other students online. Israel posted, and he put a nice picture there of himself. And then Victor posted a picture with a nice picture of him. As well as 2 friends, I imagine. Marilyn posted about herself and a nice picture of her. And so the picture is not required. By the way, this is not graded anyway. Somebody put their dog on there. That's kind of cool. So initially, this is just going to be essential, just putting yourself and putting a picture out there so that people can get to know you. So week 2, which is the first week where grades will actually be, or your posts will count. So you'll have, this is a really good example. Each week they'll be very similar except the different topics. So for example, your first question is, in what ways have the economic problems caused by the recent crisis in banking and financial industries affected business firms? In what ways have these problems affected employees and individuals? That's one DQ. So one paragraph, a good rule of thumb, that could be one paragraph. And then two, is gross domestic product a reliable indicator of a nation's economic health? What might be a better indicator? So you reply to this. There'll be two paragraphs that's required that contains two well-developed paragraphs. Well, that would be easy. One paragraph to this question and one paragraph to that question. Then after that occurs, then you begin replying to other student posts. And what I want you to avoid is starting with, I agree. That's a kind of what happens by the end of the semester is everybody just saying, I agree, when I'm really looking for you to actually bring substantive information to it. So the example I could give you is that if you essentially reply to another student's thread and say, I really liked how you identified this and this and this. There are a lot of things that are associated with that. Have you thought about A, B, C, D? So now the first part was acknowledging their reply, saying that you've read it, showing that you've read it. The second sentence would be something like, would add to that. Did you think about this? Or another thing that we could talk about is this. And so you're adding to the discussion. You're not just simply just repeating what somebody said before. You're going to be adding to it, okay? And then if you follow up with a follow-up question at the end, that would make it certainly substantive. You simply say, what are your thoughts on A, B, C, D? So you've acknowledged their original post, you've added to that original post, and then you've had a follow-up question. That would be 3 sentences, so to speak. In most cases, you could be longer as well, but that's an example of what would be considered to be a substantive post. Okay, and so you'll need to post 2 of those in replies to other students' posts. Before we move on, well, one thing that I will do in week 2, after week 2 is finished, I will try to get grades back almost, within a few days after the week, so that if your posts are not considered substantive, you'll hear about it real fast, and it won't affect your next week's post. So that you could use that as a learning tool that first week that it counted. If you lose points on 1 week, so I don't want you to keep continuing losing the same type of points. So I'll try to give you feedback as quickly as possible after week 2, so that you don't repeat the same mistake in week 3 and from there on as well. All right, before we talk about anything else on the syllabus, is there any questions about the discussions? Let's go back to the syllabus. So we just finished talking about the discussion requirements. The next is the online attendance and drop policy. There is a direct correlation between online attendance and learning mastery of the course. The instructor, which is me, reserves the right to drop inactive students from the online course. A student who fails to log into Canvas during the first online week, that is this week. Now, most of you, I'm sure, have already logged on, so you're pretty good to go. So first online week will be considered absent for the first day attendance requirement and be dropped from the course. So I don't think this applies to you, but I put it in the syllabus. I mean, even to get to the syllabus, you have to actually access Canvas, but I have that provision in there. So that applies to the first week. If you don't log into Canvas at all in the first week, you're going to get dropped from the course. From then on, any student who fails to participate in any online discussions and fails to, and that you can decide you're not going to participate in discussions. That's just going to affect your grade. But if you do that and you fail to submit any assignments for 2 or more consecutive online weeks, then I will consider you inactive and you may be dropped from the course. So to make sure that doesn't happen, at a very least, submit your assignments. So if you're submitting assignments, you'll be fine. And then I'd like you also to participate in discussions as well. as well. But that's more of a grading decision for you. If you're doing neither one of these, then you risk getting dropped from the course. Any questions about the online attendance? Okay. This is a breakdown of the assignments and their weight associated with the scoring. So everything is pretty much even except the final exam. So we've got 30% for the chapter assignments, 30 for the exams. The participation requirements are 30% of your grade. And so the final exam. So if you see, that would be a death sentence for you. If you were to decide to not do any of the discussions, the best, you'd have to get 100% on all the other points. The best you can get is a 70%. So, and that's being perfect on everything else. So, I mean, if you want to see or better, you better participate in the discussions. Any questions about the grading, the weight of all the assignments? Okay, we'll move on. You do have a final exam in this class. The final exam is due date is May 22nd, 2023 at 4 p.m. I'm trying to think if that just may be a paper assignment. We'll look at the calendar right now and see what that is. But there is a due date for the final assignment, I guess I would call that, rather than final exam. But it is Monday, May 22nd at 4 p.m. Okay, and that assignment also, that due date will be posted in Canvas. So that should be relatively easy. If you want to get contact with me, same andyh@cos.edu. Assignments are completed online using MindTap and Canvas. I have organized assignments in Canvas using modules. Each module presents the week of the semester. Each module shows the discussions, chapter readings, study tools, and MindTap assignments, writing assignments and exams due for that week. The amount of points associated with each grade assignment is shown next to the assignment. Okay. Just to repeat, there will be no makeup exams, and later homework will not be accepted. Exams are for individual assessment. No teamwork is allowed during the tests. There is no extra credit offered in this course. I think I said that already, but there's a repeat for you right there. Academic honesty, please don't cheat. And there's some examples of academic dishonesty. And that pretty much covers the syllabus. Are there any questions about anything associated with the syllabus we can go to right now? Any questions at all? Okay, very good. I'm going to close the syllabus. Okay, so the course calendar works like this. We have our online week. This is our first week. It started today and ends on Sunday. And for the most part, this week is going to be dedicated to you gathering the information, getting signed up for everything. So there's no graded assignments for this week, but I do want you to have everything up and running, ready to go by Monday. And I use 4 p.m., but that's because there's no assignment due. It's really not that relevant. Participation, there, you can go in and post on the welcome, the get to know you type initial post, but it's not going to be graded this week. Week 2 next week, we'll start on the dates Monday, the 23rd, and end on Sunday, the 29th. Now, this is what's important, and I've actually posted this, and I'll remind you again when we go through this, but Monday is the beginning of the week, the 29th, this is Sunday, that's the end of the week. So when we talk about discussions, that's the online week, that's when you have to post during the online week. All right. Now, assignments. You have chapter 1 or chapter MindTap. In this case, we're dealing with chapter 1. So the chapter MindTap assignments are going to be due. And this gets a little confusing to students, but just to clarify, the week ends on 1/29. That's a Sunday at 11:59 p.m. That's the last minute of the day. That's when your online discussions are due. They have to be. Now, technically, I should require you to submit your homework assignments as well. But experience has taught me that it's very difficult to deal with any kind of issues that are happening on a Sunday because I don't even go online during Sundays. I'm not usually available on Sundays. So as a result of me not really being available and being able to address any issues on Sundays, I go ahead and allow you an extra day, which is Monday, January 30th, and I allow it to 4 p.m. because I'm not up at midnight trying to to deal with things at 11:30 at night. So some of you get confused and think that, well, why don't you make this 11:59? Well, technically, it's supposed to be due on the night before Sunday night, but I give you an extension, so to speak, all the way till Monday, the following day at 4 p.m. And this is just for us to deal with any issues that may be coming up during the day. I'm checking my emails pretty regularly. So, it makes sense that we have a cutoff at some time during the day as opposed to waiting at night, because I'm definitely not online after, well, I could be, but most cases I'm not online after 9 p.m. as an example. So to make it so that, it's doable, and I've given you an extension to the next day extension is all the way to 4 p.m. All right. So 23 to 29, that's Monday to Sunday. That's your online discussions. You have to submit your discussions by the end of Sunday evening. Your homework assignments are due the following Monday at 4 p.m. Are there any questions about how the assignments and due dates work? Very good. And we've got the syllabus and the calendar here. We have the participation, which I've already discussed with you. A little bit more information on my bio. You can read through that. Support. These are links that if you need to get to Canvas support. And here's the questions thread that I have. If you have questions, this gets sent to me as an announcement that there's a question there for me. In fact, I can actually read the question from my email. So this is a good source for you. All right. So before we go any further, we do have a MindTap registration and login. If you get confused, I'd like you to actually look at this. This is how you would register if you decide to do this online. I'm going to go ahead and play. Here has a chance to.
Looking to access the materials you need for class? So you can find what you need and get to work. If you have any questions at the end, don't worry. We'll tell you how to connect with our support team going to your Canvas learning management system where you access courses. It might be Blackboard, Canvas, Brightspace, Moodle, or something else. Quick your class materials once you've logged in and provided by your instructor and Cengage. To continue the registration process, click any link. Ask your instructor.
Okay, so any link that registers, that references MindTap example, and you scroll down to week 1 is just a session, but week 2, if you click on any of these items, whether it's the flashcards, the chapter 1, if you click on chapter 1 content, that's what she means by saying click on anything that's related to content or content that's related to MindTap. Okay, so that's what the example would be chapter 1 concept. That would, any assignment would be a way to get that started. So we'll keep that going.
Instructor, or try a few links. You'll know you've clicked the right one when you reach the Cengage login screen. If you've used MindTap, WebAssign, SAM, CNow V2, OWL V2, Cengage Infuse, or another Cengage platform or e-textbook before, you may already have a Cengage account. Go ahead and log in or select Need Help Signing In to recover your login info if you don't remember. If it's your first time using a Cengage online learning platform or e-textbook, create an account. We recommend using your school email address here. For your security, we ask you to verify your email address. You'll receive a Welcome to Cengage email with the link to activate your account, create a password, and complete registration. Now you're in. You should see your assigned materials, including your e-textbook and assignments. If you've purchased an access code, click on Enter your access code to redeem it. If you don't have an access code, just select Continue. Here you can review the most affordable option for instant access to your materials. If you've already redeemed a code, click Continue and dive right in. If not, you can select Buy Product under the first column, or choose Temporary Access to make your purchase later. Before you buy, make sure to check out Cengage Unlimited. One Cengage Unlimited subscription includes access to all Cengage e-textbooks and online learning platforms, plus at least 4 free hard copy rentals. Just pay shipping and handling. So if you've been assigned MindTap, WebAssign, Cengage Infuse, SAM, CNOW, or OWL V2. They're all included in one Cengage Unlimited subscription. Be sure to compare the price of buying Cengage materials individually versus having access to our entire library. Learn more at cengage.com/unlimited. You're all set. Remember, if you selected temporary access, you'll need to select a purchase option in order to retain access to your materials once your trial expires. Don't worry, you won't lose the work you've already done. If you're looking to save money, Cengage.com is where you'll find the most affordable prices for Cengage products. And be sure to check if you can save with Cengage Unlimited. If you still have questions, we're here for you 24/7. Get in touch via live chat at support.cengage.com. Give us a call or send us a message on social media. You can also visit our support site for articles and answers to frequently asked questions. Have a great term, and thanks for using Cengage.
Okay, so that takes care of the MindTap registration. There's another video here.
Welcome to MindTap for Foundations of Business. Want to learn how MindTap can help you throughout this course? You're in the right place. It includes great resources such as interactive chapters, online assignments, and study tools, all in one place. First, let's get you familiar with the dashboard. There are two ways to view all the resources available to you in MindTap. The week view presents an at-a-glance view of that week's assignments so that you know where to focus in that week. The outline view is the whole enchilada. All materials for a chapter are listed, and you can drill down in a unit for all associated readings and assignments. On the right side, you'll find the app doc. The app doc is full of extra resources that will help you succeed in your course. You will find easy search functionality, side-by-side access to the full ebook, and access to your notes, including flashcards and study guides. There's also a progress app that shows your recent activity scores and where you stand at any given moment. With the MindTap Reader, you can highlight important bits in your favorite color. Insert a note to remember what to study. Pay special attention to anything marked in orange, because that is a highlight or a note shared by your instructor. Create flashcards as you go, and even print a section or two to take reading offline. You can even have the textbook read aloud to you. All of your notes and highlights will save to Study Hub for you to review before your next exam. The PART introductory activity allows you to choose from 2 activities based on your interests to get you excited about the different aspects of the business world and make the content relevant to you. Before you go through the chapter assignments, you can learn more about the topics of each major part by watching videos from places like TED Talks and reading unique articles. You will also be provided with some information about jobs you can get in different fields of business. The ebook includes concept checks at the end of key parts. Click the drop-down arrow, Start Assignment Now, to see feedback. Make sure you hover over check marks and X's. And make sure you click Submit Assignment for Grading before moving on. Chapter videos feature companies addressing the business concepts presented. When the video pauses, answer the questions presented and hit Submit Answer, then continue to move on. Once you've entered all your answers, click Submit for Grading. For each part, you make the decision activities present interactive business scenarios that take you down different pathways as you make decisions. So choose wisely. Need exam prep? Test Your Knowledge allows you to create practice quizzes covering one or multiple chapters in a low-stakes environment. You receive immediate feedback so you know where you need additional help, and the test bank-like questions prepare you for what to expect on the exam. Download the free MindTap mobile app for flashcards, practice quizzes, and access to the MindTap Reader, even when offline, so you can study any place, anytime.
Okay. All right, so let's see, what else do we need to review? There's the link for technical support if you have any questions associated with your access. This is the link if, usually when I call for a meeting, I send the link as well. But if for some reason or another you're just in Canvas and you just need to get to the Zoom meeting, you could just click on there and that'll get you there. And then from here on, it's the week that's showing exactly what's going on. Now, one of the heads up here. Okay, so this is January 30th. That's going to be the due date of your first assignments. That's on a Monday. It doesn't say 4 p.m. here. It does not say it here, but you know it is, A, because I told you, B, because it's on the calendar as well, okay? And then let's see, what other, oh, it's an announcement that I'm posting, that's right. The announcement I'm posting that will remind you of what I told you of the due date of assignments, assignment due dates and times. And so I went through this already with you just a bit ago, but essentially we're talking about when the online week starts. The due date for online discussions is on Sunday at 11:59. The due date for homework assignments is due at Monday at 4 p.m. So that gives you a pretty good example of week 2 and how those dates will work. All right. Let's go back to modules and see what else we need to review before I open it up to any questions that you may have about the course. Now, for the most part, you have your flashcards. Well, you're reading. You have links here for your reading. You have flashcards that will help you with your studies. There's a PowerPoint that you can look through, and then a little bit of like a quiz, a self-knowledge test to see if you've learned. You have the discussions, those are graded, and then the assignments. And so all of the assignments are listed there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 assignments. That may seem like a whole bunch, but some of these, like, for example, and we'll click on one, concept check. Some of these will take you maybe a couple of minutes at most in some cases, but you'll see the example. So I clicked on that arrow list down to get to the actual assignment. And your assignment is ready, and then you would click Start Now. And so this appears to be there are 3 multiple choice questions. And if you've read your textbook, it should be relatively easy. Okay, so there's 3 questions. That shouldn't take you more than a few minutes. And so it won't feel like you have an hour for every assignment. It should just take you a few minutes for each assignment. All right, so that is an example of what would be required for 1.1. I keep closing, I shouldn't close, but we'll get right back to it. Okay, so we scroll down to week 1, there's just the online discussions, and then week 2, you can see everything associated with chapter 1, discussions, the homework, there's a chapter 1 assignment, and then there's the video quiz. And then every now and then you have, let's see, in a week, which is on the calendar as well, you'll also have looks like week 5, is it? Let's see. Yeah, exam number 1. And this will be taken in Canvas. You'll click on it and you simply just complete exam number 1. Exam number 1 will be for chapters 1 through 4. All right. I think that's about it, what I have for you. Do you guys have any questions at all about anything we've covered so far, from the beginning to the end, anything at all? All righty then. In that case, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to take a look at your faces. I can see all of you have wonderful faces. Actually, all I see are words, but that's all right. Any final questions that you have? Anything you have to unmute yourself if you want to share a question? Okay, so we're done for the most part. I wish you the best on the class. If you have any questions, you can email me or post in the discussions thread, or you have my cell phone as well. I would prefer you to go and use one of those other sources because, my cell phone just kind of depends on whether I'm busy doing something. Like I received a phone call and I bet you it was from a student while I was teaching this class, so I just had to ignore it. So the best way to do is send me an email and we'll take care of it. Other than that, I wish you the best. If you have any questions, please get to me, and I wish you the best. So take care.